Loki could not defeat them, but could the Germans? Will the Dark Knight make his long-awaited CW debut? I gotta be honest, I didn't know there was a long-awaited CW debut, but we'll talk about it. We've got all those details, plus the latest fantastic multiverse news, Sean's latest news from the flight test land, and a superb, that's right, an adjective we hadn't used yet, interview you do not want to miss. That's all coming up on today's installment of Slice.
Covering all the news from every dark corner of the universe.
Hello from the children of planet Earth.
Hola y saludos a todos. धरती के वासियों की ओर से
Sliceofsci-fi.com.
And using all the adjectives, I'm Michael Armenegay.
I say we got new synonyms. I'm Brian Brown.
I feel like I repeat myself every week, so I get excited about new words. I'm Sam Roberts.
I don't know which way I was going to do this, so I'll go next. I'm Megan, and I will do you next. There we go.
Okay, then.
I don't know. I have no idea.
Congratulations. You win.
Just throwing in whatever words I can think of. I'm Noah Richmond.
And there, yay.
And I'm Ben Raggington.
Okay. Not getting done tonight.
All right, let's go.
All right.
Here's what's happening.
So The Hunger Games is coming out really soon, folks.
Yes.
It's
Must
gonna be,
own.
DVD and Blu-ray on August 21st. Fans of the series can expect some bit, maybe, tie-in merchandise.
No. I can't imagine.
Right?
So among the merchandise, there are some rather pricey items, specifically at Target. Okay, when I think of pricey items, I don't think of Target folks. Yes. So the retailer announced that it will be selling a solid 14-karat gold Mockingjay pin like the one that Katniss wears in the film. Price tag, folks, $999.
Okay, not that
Target?
Cool.
Right? Weird, right? Who pays that much for jewelry at Target?
No, I can't compute that.
Well, it's a drop in the bucket compared to the Iron Throne.
Yeah, exactly. That they're selling there too. So, but here they're also going to sell the replica of Katniss's leather jacket for $349.
Wait, I can buy the Iron Throne at Target? What?
Yes, you can.
Mike's so behind.
Yeah. Did you know you build your own kit?
Oh.
Yeah, you put it together. You just need some super glue. That's all.
Wow.
So if you also want to go for an autographed lithograph of the actress in the film, guess how much? Anyone?
Is it more than the jacket?
$699.
No.
$699.
Wow.
At Target?
At Target,
higher.
2/3 of the way to your gold pin.
Yeah.
I mean,
So what is it at Walmart?
Yeah, exactly. It's probably $599.99.
these are collector's prices because
Yeah, if you decide to buy, you may want to go arrive at Target a little early. These items will be limited to 100 of them each per store.
Wow.
Or maybe 100 each. I don't know. The jacket and lithograph will go on sale August 18th, while the Mockingjay pin won't hit until August 20th.
Okay.
Now, the DVDs and Blu-rays are August 21st for release, so there you go. I'm like, hey,
Okay.
You know what? Target does a really good job. They sell out like crazy when they do limited edition designer runs of stuff. Like people like go crazy and go early and buy all this stuff. And so, so this may, if it's a limited edition and people like to collect stuff, this may go big.
The fan base is out there.
Good for them. Oh, Bryan Singer recently got X-Men's fans' pulses racing with the news that the upcoming first-class sequel will be called X-Men Days of Future Past.
Okay.
Comic book fans will recognize the title from an iconic arc by the same name. The fan-favorite story arc alternates between the present and a future where the X-Men fail to defeat Mystique's Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, and now mutants are forced to live in internment camps.
Ooh,
that's Magneto's worst nightmare.
It's a really good one.
It's up to the present-day X-Men to prevent this timeline from occurring. I can say it's being written right now, and it will start shooting in a few months. It's going to be very ambitious, Singer told IGN. It's called Days of Future Past, and it deals with aspects of that comic, but also some very new things. I just don't want to give any of it away. Matthew Vaughn will be directing, and I'm totally excited about it.
I am too.
I
think it'd be good.
Yes.
Does anybody know who the writer was on the comic book arc?
Wasn't it? No. I should.
No idea.
Somebody will call in and tell us.
Yeah, I'm sure. So, a German luggage company is suing Marvel and Paramount over the packaging from the upcoming Phase 1 collector set of the Marvel films.
Oh.
Dig this. This is why.
What?
It's because it's designed to look like Nick Fury's suitcase that held the Tesseract in Avengers. The collector's set is expected to hit stores on September 25th.
Sure.
It's a cool idea.
Now, the original is a Topaz attaché case made by Rimowa GmbH. a company that claims the luggage is impervious to the elements and virtually indestructible. It truly is.
Okay.
Now, Rimowa provided a genuine Topaz case to Marvel for use in the film, but in a filing in the California federal court, basically, the company claimed Marvel and Disney basically violated trademarks by replicating the case for the Blu-ray set. Because it is they have a very distinct image of their cases. That's kind of what it is.
Okay.
So the company alleges not only did Marvel made and mass-produced a plastic replica of the case without permission.
That's a problem.
That by making the replicas, they introduced a low-quality copy of their high-quality luggage that results in unfair competition. This is what they said. Images of the replica briefcase on Marvel's advertising materials and fan video from Marvel Products display this year's Comic-Con convention show a plastic replica case to be a close copy of the Rimowa's Topaz attaché case in every respect but quality, and from the proportion and coloring to the style and handle and latches, and of course the use of trademark parallel ridges around the body of the case.
Okay, I get
trademark.
That.
So
There's actually enough pieces there that
sounds like they have a case.
If they didn't have permission, they could be in trouble.
Yeah.
In addition to the unfair competition claims, Rimowa is also claiming trademark infringement and trademark dilution.
Yeah, right.
That's pretty serious. So the company is demanding a trial by jury and any profits Marvel makes from the alleged unlawful behavior and 3 times actual damage. Once a judge and jury decide on what those damages are, Marvel, of course, says remain silent.
Don't mess with the Germans.
Yeah, especially, and if you go out to their website and look them up, their cases are really incredible.
Badass.
And they're super expensive.
Yeah.
So I can see why they've copyrighted
I'm sure
it.
they're trying to protect their brand if they have like the high-end kind of...
Right.
Yeah.
This is our Rhine! You went that cross!
Yeah.
Just saying.
There you go.
For years, fans wondered if the Dark Knight, or did we have to go do something else, like more news from the multiverse?
I think we probably better do some news.
I'd rather hear that.
Yeah.
It was a dark and stormy night. Once again, I found myself down on my luck. No job, no dame, not a penny to my name. Whichever way I turned, fate seemed to stick out her big ugly feet to trip me up. I had a lot of questions. What was up with Klimper? How could a jerk like Lance Neutron become a big fish on campus? How could fate turn on a guy as handsome as me? The world was full of mysteries like that. I knew it was always darkest before the yawn. Then an idea slapped me in the face like a dame at benched in a bar. I'd sell out that rat bastard Neutron. FDL wasn't the only game in town. I'll bet Nigel would pay through the hose for the information I have on Lance. It was time to take the bull by the bag and let the chips fly. I set up a meeting with Nigel. We met in a long, dark hallway aboard the greased light. I was gonna sing like a fat lady.
Hello, Sweetleaf.
Oh, Nigel, there you are. The gnome is in the cow barn.
The gnome what?
The gnome is in the cow barn.
Oh, yes, the code. Dillo can bite a big one. Now, what is this information that you want to sell me?
What if I told you that I have proof that Lance Neutron paid one of your crew to spy on you and helped program the Skizbot to plant that alien egg on your old ship?
What?
What's it worth to you?
Well, if this is real, I'll pay everything you asked for, but this better not be some sort of joke.
It's real.
Let me see those papers.
How about the cash first?
All right. Here you go. Now let me look and see who the spy was.
Right. It was me.
What? How could you? Sweetleaf, after everything
Settle down. I was on assignment for Lance. I also know who set off that gas grenade on the ship.
Are you serious? You have that information as well? Well, let me look and see who...
I did that too.
Why? What would make you do such a thing?
Hey, it ain't my fault. I was just following orders.
I'm speechless. All right, Sweetleaf. You have your money. You can go.
All right.
Security will take you to the transporter room. And I guess thank you for the information. This changes everything.
Getting the cash was easier than falling off a toadstool. Just goes to show, when push comes to shove, my rubber met the road. Looks like this was going to be the start of a beautiful friendship. Me and my money. Now I have some cash. This is the stuff the dreams are made of. this hot nude pixies.
Once there was an ant and a grasshopper. The ant worked day and night while his friend the grasshopper fiddled away his free time. Then when the ant left on his winter vacation, was the grasshopper left in the cold? Cause the grasshopper was on the payroll savings plan. And by now, all those U.S. savings bonds added up to a big surprise to the ant and a big winter vacation for the grasshopper. Moral, buy U.S. savings bonds and you don't need a rich ant.
And thanks, everyone, for coming back to Slice of Sci-Fi. I'm Michael Armenegay.
And I am Brian Brown. Today we have a trio of gentlemen on the line for a very different sort of thing. We have Stuart Hendler, John Cabrera, and Jason Taylor, and they are all part of a series called H+, the Digital Series. Now, Stuart is the director, John is one of the writers and creators, and Jason is one of the producers. Gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having us.
So,
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, let me throw us to John since he's one of the writers and one of the creators of this series. Give us the Reader's Digest version of what H+ the Digital Series is about.
It is set in a near future in which 33% of the world population has retired its cell phones and laptops and tablets in favor of a new technology, an implanted computer that allows our nervous system to access the internet and allows us to actually interface with sensorial GUIs. And we begin the story with something going horribly wrong, and that 33% of the world suddenly, inexplicably dies. And then we spend the rest of the series trying to figure out what happened through the eyes of survivors, some of which who had the implant and for reasons, some of which we understand, some of which we don't understand at first, survived, and then through the eyes of that other 66% that survived because they didn't have the implant. And we jump around. Yeah, it's big.
That's a pretty big idea right there.
It's a big world.
Yeah, it is a big world.
I mean, it takes place across 5 continents and spans a timeline of just a little under 20 years, I believe, right? Around 15, 16 years. And we jump, the storytelling jumps around time. Every episode we, jump either before the event or after the event. So that we can kind of understand what this world was as it was accelerating towards this event, as well as how the world is picking up after.
Okay. Now, this is a web series primarily, is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, and so...
Yeah, I mean, it was created for the web. Yeah.
Right, and it's really small chunks, too, if I remember what I read correctly, because I haven't got a chance to watch it yet. So, and it's... So, actually, I should throw us to Stuart, because since he's the director. Since these are kind of... My understanding is 7 to 10 minute chunks or so, is that right? Is that right, Stuart?
Yeah, basically, a little bit smaller than that. They range all the way from 2 to sort of 9 minutes, but they tend to average around 5, and there's 48 parts total.
Yeah, how, as a director, that's right there is amazing challenge.
Yeah.
I'm still confused.
Yeah, I mean, you're like, okay, how many takes do you guys do something like this? I mean, really, because that they're going to have that really small window for your actors to hit, right?
Yeah, no, it's a tricky format because every episode needs to sort of be fulfilling in such a small amount of time. So we have basically, 48 small little scenes that have to be compelling and cliffhang and suck you in. But I think that, it's a testament to John and Cosimo's script that it's such a sort of interesting, complex, engrossing world that it really does work. And you can watch these in sort of any number of orders, and it kind of sort of revealed itself to you in different ways.
So, John, let me ask this of you. How far future is this, and how accurate do you think the technology that you're portraying is as far as this far future that you're working with?
Well, I have to say, I think that because we play around with a lot of different technologies, but the specific technology that you're talking about, this implanting technology, to a degree, it's already here. I mean, we began working on this project 6 years ago. Cosmo and I conceived of the idea back in 2006. Just to give you a reference, that was before the iPhone was out, right? That was before people were swiping their fingers across their phone and tablet devices, right? This was back in the age of styluses and whatnot. So we have seen in the past 6 years a tremendous amount of advance in technology, so much so that at times Cosmo and I were kind of worried that some of this stuff would, by the time we actually were able to bring this out, that some of the stuff that we had come up with and written and conceived back in 2006 would be sort of passé. But the actual implant technology was one of the first things that we researched when we began coming up with this, because at first it was just this kernel of an idea, a world implanted by computers and everyone dying, and it seemed like a really great starting place for an exciting mystery. As soon as we started looking at what was happening in those fields, we started to realize, like, oh no, this is here already. Only 2 years prior to that, there was an experiment which a paralyzed man had been implanted with a device that allowed him to move a computer mouse cursor with his thought. This past year, or about a year ago, they did an extension on that same experiment with another paralyzed woman who did something similar. So this technology is more real than we like to think. How far it is before the world is actually implanted with this stuff, I couldn't say for sure, but I feel pretty confident it's within our lifetime. Within a lot of our lifetime.
I agree with you. I'm an avid transhumanist, so yes.
There you go. So, Jason, how did you get involved in this project as a producer? How did you all of a sudden happen to stop this guy in the street and he just had a great idea? How did you get involved?
We got involved when John and Cosmo originally pitched the world. We were really interested in it, and when Warner Digital came on board, we at the time had our deal at Warner Brothers, and it seemed like a good match. And the world was there, and we came to the conclusion of what it would look like online. And John and Cosmo wrote these 48 vignettes, but really wrote it in this way that only could be done online. You start every episode with a point of view, so it's this cool way to get introduced to characters where you're always asking yourself, well, which character am I and who am I? And it helps broaden the mystery as we follow this disparate set of people across time and across location, and waiting until they intersect. So it was everything that Brian loves in terms of characters and unique situations, and the sci-fi epic scope of it really just helped hit it home if we were going to do anything online.
Well, and Jason, we should mention that Brian Fuller is attached to this project.
Brian Singer.
Well. Sorry, Brian Singer. Bah.
Brian Singer.
Wrong Brian. And he's attached to
No worries. We just did a pilot with Brian Fuller, so there's a lot of
there's a lot of things going on with Warner Brothers right now with Brian's. Maybe Brian Brown could do something. No, never mind. Sorry.
There you go.
But it seems like this has got some hefty weight behind it, and Warner Brothers is obviously putting a lot of energy into this as well.
Tremendous amount. I mean, they gave us such support in terms of, we shot it in Santiago, Chile, which was a location that not many people had gone down before, to really try and replicate all of these different locations, and it was supportive in every way, from Warner support going down there to Lawn Airlines support of helping us out with our budget. Everything and anything to do to make sure that all money went up on screen. It was really a passion project for everyone involved.
Wow. It sounds really, really cool, to say the least. And we're seeing a lot more of these little web shorts that are showing up, and that this is becoming a very viable source of entertainment, it seems like. And a lot of studios are looking at it. So I think you guys are definitely hitting the forefront of a lot of this.
Thank you. I think everyone's very hopeful that this model, as more viewers come to the web, you have the option on a lot of smart televisions to pull up Netflix or to pull up YouTube. And this option, very well could pipe YouTube into the family living room like a television station. The content was developed in the hope of just being good content. We didn't really think about the medium as much as to use the medium for what it's good for, which is an interesting way to experience the content. The idea of rearrangement and playlists, which I'd hand over to John to eloquently describe, of how, even the viewer in this world is going to be able to repurpose the material.
So, Jason, I'd like to ask one last question of you before we run out of time here, and that is why 7 minutes, 9 minutes? I mean, why the short format? Are you looking at this as that's what the web is really looking for, is short content, or was there another reason for keeping these as a short little vignettes?
I think when we originally embarked upon the project, that was what people digested on the web. Your download speeds were still trying to catch up with things, and the idea of 3 to 7 minute parcels was a great story device where you had just enough time to really start investing in the character and ending on a cliffhanger to keep people intrigued enough to want to come back, we hope. But in total, there's about 4 television hours of content for the series. I mean, it's not. It's definitely much longer than most things that you'd find when you piece together the world. So the idea is, what people are going to want to do in each sitting, and they can assemble playlists to say, okay, I want to watch this character for 20 minutes, or I want to watch that character for 15 minutes. We're going to give them the viewers lots of options in how they want to digest this material and how they want to experience the world.
Now that's really cool. That is a cool idea. Okay, now I'm on board. Now I get it. That's cool.
All right. Well, since we're running out of time, let's go back to Stuart, since we really haven't got a chance to talk to him much. But Stuart, where are people going to be able to find all this information and see the series, for example?
They can find it on YouTube, and it's we have our own channel on YouTube, which is H+, the digital series. And John, you want to throw out a bunch of URLs for everybody?
Yeah. The channel URL is youtube.com/H+ digital series. Our Twitter channel is, or Twitter stream is H+ digital. And we also have some other people can go to the YouTube page now, the YouTube channel now, and subscribe. We already have it filled with some extra content and some links to some other stuff online that we're really hoping that the audience explores and finds, because the series itself is not just 48 of these web pieces, right? It's a much larger world that actually is going to extend off of the channel itself, and people will be able to explore a variety of ancillary content, from videos to photos to faux websites or companies within the series, sort of with elements of ARG.
Okay, yeah.
Very, very cool. And, of course, we'll have all those links on sliceofsci-fi.com, so you can go there and find and follow them back.
Thank you, folks. Stuart, John, and Jason from H+ the Digital Series. We'll have links on our website. Thank you, gentlemen, for talking with us today.
Thanks so much for having us.
All right, folks, we'll be back with more Slice of Sci-Fi right after this.
Hey, Slicer Sean members with more
news from Flight Test Land.
The mighty F-15 Eagle celebrated its 40th birthday this week. That's right, folks. July 27th, 1972, the F-15 Eagle took to the air for the first time. And as a celebration of its birthday, Boeing has announced that the new Silent Eagle variant, this is the new version that'll be able to carry weapons internally and will have somewhat more stealthy features added to it for export model aircraft, will have the Joint Helmet-Mounted Cueing System installed. This is the same helmet-mounted cueing system that the F-35 uses for targeting its missiles, and it will also put the heads-up display that is typically projected on the canopy inside the helmet. Also in F-35 news, the F-35B has arrived at Edwards Air Force Base. Now, this is the vertical takeoff and landing variant of the F-35 and will not be used by the Air Force, but it's coming out here to perform engine air restart tests because we have one of the best flight-to-air Asterias for that. Also in F-35 news, watch the skies, Phoenix. Luke Air Force Base has been designated by the Air Force as the official training base for the F-35 for the Air Force. So watch the skies and wear your earplugs. Reportedly, the F-35 is one of the loudest birds on the flight line since the A-7 Corsair II. And finally, the C-130 has been giving a new package delivery system that will allow them to deliver heavier cargoes at higher speed and lower altitudes than attempted before. That's going to be some interesting testing to watch, and I really hope they don't just put a bunch of divots in the lake bed. Sean Edwards out.
Wow.
Oh, awesome. We've got one more story. Want to hear it?
Okay, yeah, let's do it.
For years, some fans wondered if The Dark Knight might make an appearance on Smallville. 10 years, and it never happened, partly because Batman was tied up in the rights for the movies that have been going on. But now that Christopher Nolan is done, could it happen? According to IGN, maybe. Arrow creator Mark Guggenheim says that he's open to and interested in having Batman cameo in the upcoming CW series. Guggenheim says that with the Nolan series complete, he hopes the Batman characters will become available. And while we don't know yet if the Dark Knight will show up, we can tell you that one DC character that will be part of the first season, Emily Bett Rickards, has been cast in the show as Felicity Smoke, a character best known in the DC Comics publications as the stepmother of Firestorm. The character debuted as an antagonist who sued the hero, later unwittingly marrying his alter ego Ronnie Raymond's father. Comics are like soap operas, folks.
Yeah, they are, totally. Truly.
She'll debut in the 3rd episode of Arrow, along with Michael Rowe as Deadshot. But they don't think Firestorm is a fit for the show, so we don't expect to see him.
Well, interesting.
He's too powerful.
Well, very cool. Very, very, very cool stuff. So hang tight, folks. A couple days from now, we will have another listener feedback
Fresh
show.
batch of
Stay
stuff.
tight. That's right. We'll be back with more then. Thanks so much for tuning in, everyone.